Hi, and welcome to the Neoprene Playmat. I'm your host, Matt Piak, and this is Spend My Money Mondays, when we look at my board gaming budget and how to spend it best. Essentially, I've got $100 a month to spend on board games, and I try and make that dollar stretch as far as I can, or at least get the most quality games for the money I spend. And so I actually have a couple things I want to talk about today. Some of it has to do with my money, but a lot of it has to do with your money. And I'm hoping to maybe save you a couple bucks this holiday season. Well, with that said, let's hop into it. And the first piece of this today is going to be more of actually a discussion piece. So you all know I've been talking about Cosmic Frog for like 3-4 months now. And if you look here at Miniature Market, it's come in. And if you've tuned in before, you know I was planning on placing my order with Power to the Meeple, which is actually still the case. But I noticed that it hadn't gone up on their site yet. And so, I don't know, sometimes as a customer, you think about this and you go, oh man, I'm getting a delay. I could have that shipped out right now. I'm just going to order it from this other site or something along those lines. But I decided, instead of doing that, to reach out to Josh over at Power to the Meeple. And it was really cool because he actually said, something happened with the order. He didn't realize that it didn't fulfill. And so he checked with his vendors and everything's still coming in. But it was delayed, and he wouldn't have necessarily noticed right away without kind of me, I don't want to say prodding through an email. But I think sometimes, especially when you're waiting for something patiently that's been a while, sometimes it can feel like nagging. But I guess what I want to say is, like, reach out to people. If you have questions or concerns, like, just reach out. I found that, something happened with his order with Cosmic Frog getting it to Power to the Meeple. And so we're still working together, and I'm going to have it shipped out here on Monday. So that's when he'll get it in. So really excited about that. Once that ships out, it'll be, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days and I'll get it. And I just said that like it wasn't Monday today. That is because I'm filming on Sunday night. But so that actually, when you're watching this, it should be shipping out from Power to the Meeple. But I wanted to plug that, and I wanted to say, it's fantastic when there's great customer service, and I continue to see that from Power to the Meeple. And I've also been doing some orders from Miniature Market. As you know, I went in last week with a friend on a box, and supposedly that's in now. I actually have to go pick that up from him. Forgot about that. But beyond that, I've been thinking a lot about my money, how much I have left and how much I have to spend and all of those things. And I'm starting to get a little bit of what one might call buyer's fatigue. I don't know if you've ever had this, but when you're actively looking to purchase things all the time, especially with Christmas season coming up, I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I don't really want to look to buy something right now. I've got a lot of games on my shelf that I've recently traded for that I haven't gotten to the table yet. And so I'm going to take a little bit of a step back, and I'm not actually going to talk about anything I'm interested in purchasing this week. And now you might be asking, well, if you're not going to spend your money, whose money are you going to spend? And the answer is, looking to spend your money. So every year, I always get a lot of last minute questions from friends and family where they're looking for some sort of game to bring over to friends or family's house for the holidays to play, something that's quick and easy, something that they can jump into. And so initially I started going through different sites, and for me it's really difficult to offer any form of recommendation for a game you should purchase if I haven't played it. I want to at least say that I've gotten it to the table and that it's a good thing. And as you also know, I am pretty concerned with saving money. And so for this week, what I wanted to do is I put a list together of 5 games that I found on clearance at Miniature Market. Once again, nobody pays me, nobody sponsors this video. This is just what I was able to find on Miniature Market. 5 games that would be great easy pickups to bring to any sort of small family gathering. I realize not a lot of people are coming together for the holidays because of COVID, and I wanted to be sensitive to that as well. And so I don't have any of these sprawling games that play 10 or 12 people, but I do have, I've picked some for a little bit more intimate gaming experiences. I think one game goes up to 6 players, but all the rest stop at 4. And I found the games that were on clearance that were good games. Some of them have limited quantity, so I'm hoping they're still there when you watch this, but I'm hoping this helps you enjoy the holiday season a little bit more. So to begin with, Passtally. I thoroughly love this game. Once again, everything I'm going to show you is on sale right now at Miniature Market. It's less than what it typically goes for. For $20, this game is phenomenal. This is probably one of my favorite abstract games as a whole. I got introduced to it at Origins last year, so 2019 Origins, from Pandasaurus Games. And essentially what you're doing is, if you look at the box cover here, you'll see that there's these, strange, they're hexagonal, but they're kind of stretched out, and they have these different, what are called passes on them. And you're going to be stacking these up on the map, and you stacking them on top of each other, and you're trying to connect dots. So let's say I had a dot here. I might try and connect it to another dot over here. And so what I'd do is I'd follow these passes, and I would look, and I'd say, oh, this is going around here. This comes up. This wraps up this way, comes, and oh, look, it connects. That one I actually don't have to worry about. So how am I going to maybe make this more effective? Is there a way I can lay a tile on top of this that's going to create more passes? Because you're going to score for every pass that it goes through. So if we're coming from here, this would be 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, 4 pass. Oh, look, this one is stacked on top of this. So it's going to be worth more points. So this is going to be worth 2 points to pass through here rather than 1, and so on and so forth. And so you're going to calculate that at the end of each round. You're working with 2 pairs of these like cubes or dots that you're connecting. You can also move those around the edges too. It plays 2 or 3 players. And this is a great little crunchy game. You can sit down. It's one of those that really grokks your brain if you like that, where you're trying to think of how to... I typically really like games where I'm min-maxing, right? I'm trying to figure out the best action economy. How can I play one tile to have the greatest effect on my score? And you can really do that here. It is a little bit susceptible to analysis paralysis, where you're just kind of stuck because you're trying to math everything out. But I thoroughly enjoy this one, and I would say $20 is a fantastic price. All right. Another game I have here to recommend is That's a Question. Now, first off, look at how endearing this squirrel is on the cover. If you notice, he's got a blue pill and a red pill. If you've seen The Matrix, you might understand the reference there about, what are you going to choose? And this is probably the most party-like game out of the things I have recommended here. It goes up to 6 players, and this is actually a really good game to get to know other people at the table. It's pretty fun as well if you know everybody pretty well already. But if let's say you're going to the in-laws for the holiday or something along those lines, this is a great game to pick up. It's not intimidating at all. Everybody's playing squirrels, trying to move up on this track, and you want to finish the game. Essentially, when the cards run out, you want to be the highest on the track. You're moving your little squirrel, and you're essentially asking either or questions, and everybody is going to bid on whether or not, which answer they believe you chose. Did you choose A or did you choose B? And there's a little bit of framework for the questions about which one would you rather not do? And then it would give 2 examples of things that people typically wouldn't want to do. And so then you're going to say, okay, I think they answered A, because of whatever your reasoning is, right? If you get it right, you get to move up. If you get it wrong, you don't get to move at all. And so it's really just about getting to know one another. And for $8, I feel like this is a great way to break the ice with relatives. All right, we got another Pandasaurus game here. This is called Mental Blocks. It's currently on sale for $26. And this is one of the it's not a dexterity game. It's kind of this visual math puzzle. You're working on a team together, and you have a card that shows you what your side, so depending on where you're sitting at the table, what your side should look like. And so, for instance, from the cover here, if you were sitting here, this yellow would look like a tall rectangle. You'd see this little white square here. You would see this triangle, right, as a triangle shape rather than a rectangle. You'd see this blue square and this potentially yellow square, but it looks like there's another block that needs to go here. And so you're trying to figure out how to build this shape, these objects, by what you have on your card. The problem is everybody's perspective is different. And so you're working together to figure out how this puzzle goes together so that everybody's side is correct. The game limits your communication. And so it becomes, it's a rather difficult puzzle when you really get into it, trying to figure out some of the more complex cards that they have. They do have, I'm pretty sure it has like a scaling difficulty too. So if you're playing with younger kids or things like that, you can bring it down. I wouldn't bring it down too much as far as age level. Probably 9 or 10 would be the youngest I would play with. If you have a really, really smart 7 or 8 year old that's good at logic puzzles, it could work there too. But I think this one definitely flexes your brain in an interesting way. The components are really fun to play with too. They're like these big foamy pieces that are kind of denser than you initially expect. And for $26, it's a great price. All right. So the fourth game on the list is Palm Trees. Now this is one of the most interesting games I've played. And when I say interesting, it's rather unique. To begin with, the game comes with sleeves that make your arm look like a palm tree. And that's because your hand is going to be the palm tree. There's these plastic bendable cards that come in a deck, and you're going to be giving your opponents different cards to put in their hand. And so it's almost like somebody's compared it to hand twister. It'll say, this has to be between your thumb and your middle finger. And so you'll have to form your hand in a way to hold the card that way. Then you might get one that's between your ring finger and your index finger. And so then you have to figure out how to put that card to where you can kind of squeeze it and bend it between your hand. This is one that's great with the kids. It's great with, it's really a multi-generational game, right? Like the rules are not complex at all. You just have to try and keep those cards in your hand, and if you drop them, like, you're out type of thing. And it's super simple. It's dead simple. But the gimmick of it, the overall appearance of it, everybody looks ridiculous. They have their elbow on the table, their hand is up, and they got a whole bunch of cards in it. And as you play more, you kind of figure out some of the different techniques you can use to hold things in your hand to make it work a little bit better. It's always a hoot. Everybody laughs a lot. And it's one that would be easy to bring out during the holidays. All right. So my last pick is the most gamery game of all of these. This is my recommendation if you're going to some form of holiday gathering and everybody there is a gamer, like a hobby gamer. This is Elysium. Once again, all these games are on sale. This game is currently going for $33 when it retails for $60. This game has been on my shelf for 5 years now, maybe 6. I got it when it first came out. It's one I still get out. I have a ton of fun with it. Essentially, what you're doing is you're acquiring these cards that are going to go in front of you as a tableau, and as you play these cards, they're going to give you more and more powerful abilities. But at some point, you have to convert them over to your Elysium. Once you do that, they no longer have a special power. And so you're kind of collecting these sets, building them out, and then moving them into your Elysium. And so a lot of the game, a lot of the tension comes from, well, when are we going to take this family, this group of cards, and move them down? We don't want to lose out on those abilities too early, but we can only move so many down per round. And so you have to make these really tough decisions of what you're going to kind of cut out of your engine in order to keep up with the pace of the game. I think it's just brilliant. I think it's overlooked quite a bit. I don't really hear it talked about. And I definitely think it was probably, I shouldn't say I definitely think it's probably, no, I would definitely say it's one of the best games that came out the year it did. I still play it. I still get it out. It's definitely has a deserved spot on my shelf, and it's one that I don't look to trade anytime in the future. And $33 is definitely a good price. So if you're traveling for the holidays, if you're going to be seeing just a few relatives, these are some of the games that I think you could potentially get that would liven up the afternoon, the evening. A lot of these are quicker, easier games, really low teaching load. They're the type of thing where you could get it out and probably read the instructions even when you arrive to your destination. And that's what makes them accessible. That's what makes them great for the holidays. Elysium's the only exception, but I saw it was on sale and it's one of my favorite games. And so I figured I would throw it in here. Well, that's it. I guess this has been Spend Your Money Monday. Thanks for joining me. This has been the Neoprene Playmat. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.